Welcome to Trump Wire, your trusted source for breaking headlines, global insights, and sharp analysis from around the world. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. The South China Sea is a vital maritime highway, carrying trillions of dollars in global trade every year. Stretching over 3.5 million square kilometers, it connects major economies and serves as a lifeline for international commerce, making it one of the busiest and most strategic waterways on the planet. Beneath its surface, the sea is rich in oil, natural gas, and abundant fisheries, providing essential resources that millions of people depend on for energy and food security. Its immense value has made it one of the world's most hotly contested regions. Multiple countries, including the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, and Taiwan, lay claim to parts of it, each seeking to secure their share of its resources and strategic advantages. China, however, claims almost the entire sea, marked by its sweeping 9-dash line. This claim overlaps with the exclusive economic zones of its Southeast Asian neighbors, fueling ongoing disputes and raising concerns about regional stability. The Philippines, whose exclusive economic zone, called the West Philippine Sea, lies at the heart of this dispute, faces direct threats to its resources, sovereignty, and the safety of its coastal communities. At the core of the conflict is a clash of rules and principles. UNCLOS, the international treaty that most countries follow, versus China's sweeping historical claims, which are not recognized by international law. This disagreement has led to diplomatic protests, tense maritime standoffs, and a constant risk of escalation that threatens peace and security in the region. For the Philippines, the issue is about more than territory. It's about protecting its natural resources, ensuring food security, and safeguarding the livelihoods of its people who depend on the sea. The world watches closely, as tensions in the South China Sea could have far-reaching global consequences, affecting international trade, security, and the balance of power in Asia and beyond. In late 2024, the Philippines took a bold and historic step by passing two landmark pieces of legislation, the Philippine Maritime Zones Act and the Archipelagic Sea Lanes Act, both of which were designed to strengthen the country's maritime sovereignty and clarify its rights at sea. These new laws officially define the country's maritime boundaries in line with the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS. For the first time, the Philippines has created a new official map that asserts its rights over the West Philippine Sea and its surrounding waters, leaving little room for ambiguity. Senate Majority Leader Francis Tolentino called this the birth certificate of the West Philippine Sea, underscoring its immense national significance and the sense of ownership it brings to the Filipino people. By enshrining these boundaries into law, the Philippines gave its Coast Guard and Navy a clear and unambiguous mandate to protect its waters, empowering them to act decisively in defense of national interests. This move directly challenges China's expansive claims in the region and signals Manila's intent to govern its maritime space as a fully sovereign nation, determined to uphold international law. The United States and other key allies welcomed the legislation, framing it as a legitimate and necessary exercise of statehood and a step toward regional stability. The U.S. urged all countries to align their maritime claims with UNCLOS, reinforcing the growing global consensus against China's controversial 9-dash line and supporting the rule of law at sea. The Philippines' new laws mark a turning point in its maritime policy, shifting from protest to proactive governance and setting a precedent for other nations facing similar challenges. China responded swiftly to the Philippines' new maritime laws by declaring new territorial baselines around Scarborough Shoal, a feature seized from the Philippines in 2012. By drawing these baselines, China claimed the shoal and its surrounding waters as its own, escalating the dispute. The Philippines immediately protested, calling China's move a violation of its sovereignty and international law. China dismissed the protests, insisting the shoal has always been its territory. Beijing also launched a campaign to rename dozens of features in the South China Sea, including areas deep within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. Naming is a classic tactic to assert control, even without physical presence. China warned the Philippines against further unilateral actions, hinting at possible force to defend its claims. The standoff has become more dangerous, with both sides digging in and the risk of confrontation rising. Scarborough Shoal, Bajo de Masinloc to Filipinos, Huangyandao to China, is a small but strategic reef, rich in fish and located well within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. For years, Filipino fishermen relied on its waters until China seized control in 2012 after a tense standoff. China's takeover marked a turning point, showing its willingness to use maritime power to enforce its claims. The loss was a blow to the Philippines' economy and pride, prompting Manila to challenge China at the Permanent Court of Arbitration. Today, China's new baselines around the shoal aim to legitimize its control, directly contradicting international law. Scarborough Shoal remains a symbol of the unresolved conflict and the Philippines' struggle to reclaim its rights. The dispute over this tiny feature continues to fuel tensions in the region. Its fate is a constant reminder of the stakes in the West Philippine Sea. In response to the 2012 seizure, the Philippines brought China to international court under UNCLOS. The 2016 ruling was a sweeping victory for the Philippines. The tribunal declared China's 9-dash line had no legal basis and affirmed the Philippines' rights within its exclusive economic zone. Scarborough Shoal was ruled a rock, not entitled to its own EEZ, and found to be within the Philippines' maritime rights. The court condemned China's interference with Filipino fishing and exploration. Despite the binding ruling, China flatly rejected the decision, calling it waste paper and refusing to comply. This defiance undermines international law, leaving the Philippines with a legal win, but no means to enforce it. The world faces a dilemma: law on one side, power on the other. The Philippines' victory remains unenforced as China continues its activities in the disputed waters. The standoff highlights the limits of international arbitration when powerful states refuse to play by the rules. Since the 2016 ruling, Chinese presence in the West Philippine Sea has only grown, with hundreds of vessels, Coast Guard, Navy and maritime militia, operating daily in Philippine waters. This surge has led to more frequent and aggressive confrontations, including ramming, water cannon attacks, and blockades against Philippine ships. China's gray zone tactics aim to intimidate and wear down the Philippines without open warfare. Filipino missions to resupply outposts or protect fishermen are routinely harassed, making normal maritime activities nearly impossible. In response, the Philippines has adopted assertive transparency, documenting and publicizing China's actions to rally international support. Videos and photos of clashes have drawn global attention, countering China's narrative. While this doesn't stop Chinese vessels, it exposes the reality on the ground and pressures Beijing diplomatically. The risk of miscalculation remains high, with every encounter carrying the potential for escalation. To counter China's pressure, the Philippines is building a web of defense partnerships across Asia and beyond. Japan has become a key ally, signing a military access agreement and providing patrol vessels, radar, and maritime aid. South Korea has elevated ties, supplying advanced warships and deepening security cooperation. India delivered its BrahMos missile system, marking a new era in Philippine-Indian defense relations. Australia shifted its focus to maritime security, signing new agreements and conducting joint exercises with Philippine forces. These alliances boost the Philippines' capabilities and send a message that regional stability is a shared responsibility. The country's foreign policy has shifted from quiet diplomacy to active alliance building. Together, these partnerships aim to uphold freedom of navigation and a rules-based order in the South China Sea. At the heart of the Philippines' security is its enduring alliance with the United States, a partnership anchored by the 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty. This historic agreement has shaped the region's security landscape for over 70 years, providing a foundation of trust and cooperation between the two nations. Washington has repeatedly clarified that any armed attack on Philippine forces, aircraft, or vessels in the South China Sea would trigger mutual defense commitments under the treaty. This assurance is a powerful deterrent, signaling to potential aggressors that the Philippines is not alone in defending its sovereignty. In recent years, the U.S. has ramped up joint military exercises, gained access to additional Philippine bases, and deployed advanced missile systems to Luzon. These moves not only enhance the Philippines' defensive capabilities, but also demonstrate the U.S. commitment to regional security. U.S. support extends beyond military cooperation to robust diplomacy, consistently backing the Philippines' legal position in international forums and urging China to respect international law and maritime rights. This alliance serves as a strong deterrent against aggression, but it also raises the stakes in the region. Any incident or miscalculation could quickly escalate, potentially drawing the U.S. into a broader conflict. Unsurprisingly, China views the growing U.S.-Philippines partnership with deep suspicion, frequently criticizing American deployments as direct threats to its own security and regional ambitions. For the Philippines, this means carefully balancing the benefits of U.S. support with the risks of further antagonizing China, a major economic partner and powerful neighbor. The revitalized alliance is a double-edged sword, crucial for deterrence and national defense, yet fraught with the potential for dangerous escalation if tensions spiral out of control. Ultimately, the region's stability now hinges on the careful management of these powerful relationships, as leaders navigate a complex web of alliances, rivalries, and shifting interests. The South China Sea dispute is more than a fight over rocks and reefs. It's a battle for sovereignty, resources, and the rule of law. For the Philippines, the West Philippine Sea is vital for food, energy, and national security. The region's stability affects global trade, with any conflict threatening supply chains and economies worldwide. The clash is a test of whether international law or raw power will shape the future. If powerful states can ignore court rulings, the rules-based order is at risk. The Philippines' new laws and alliances are a stand for a lawful, peaceful future. The path ahead is uncertain, but by defending its rights and building coalitions, the Philippines is fighting for a world where rules, not might, prevail. The outcome will shape not just Southeast Asia but the global order for years to come.